pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call.
Commissioner Clallam. Commissioner Gonzalez.
Here.
Commissioner Peach.
Here.
Commissioner Jones.
I'm here. There are requests for modifications to the agenda or approval of the agenda.
I do have some modifications that were asked for yesterday. Specifically, Commissioners asked to have item 1B in the consent agenda moved to item 4B under administration to allow for discussion. And then under item 5B in the budget, it's amended to update the developmental disabilities information.
I move to approve the agenda as amended.
Second. Moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Public comment. Is there any member of the public wishing to make comment on agenda items? A couple of public hearings at 10:30. Seeing no one, so consent agenda.
Thank you. Item 1A is approval of vouchers for the week of July 4th, and item 1C is a approval of a letter of support for the Smith Family Farm Protection Phase 1.
Move to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Reports and presentations. Commissioner Gonzalez.
I have none this week.
Commissioner Peach.
I attended a Washington State Association of Counties meeting last week, and just a heads up, one of the things the association is identifying as a priority is the Growth Management Act, and we're a little different. All the rest of the counties, they decided what they would do is send a inquiry, a survey to the county commissioners. They will compile, and that would then be turned over to the legislative steering committee, which I sit on. We have a VCD director, and I had a chance to talk to her last week, so I just want to be, I appreciate support for a process where that inquiry that comes to the county commissioners, we're able to give it to Mary Ellen, and I talked to Mary Ellen, she thought that moving that to her committees, the planning commission as an example, and then staff, and then a response to the commissioners would be the appropriate course of action. We're the only county that can take this action. We just a heads up, and if you approve of that approach.
Absolutely. Sounds great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Commissioner Jones.
I have nothing.
Us. No, sir. There are none.
This afternoon, the Dungeness River Levee Setback Project, there's going to be a group of people that go together at the Clallam City Council chamber to go over the critical path and how that's going to take place. It's going to be recorded, but if you'd like to go there, it'd be interesting to know when certain things will be designed to.
Sheriff. Mark. Anything else we have? Joel. Contracts and agreements.
Thank you. Item 2A is a contract amendment with the Department of Social and Health Services to change the period of performance and to increase the maximum contract amount, as was discussed yesterday in work session. The amount of the increase is $903,200. Total maximum contract is $1,645,565.
I move to approve the contract amendment with the Department of Social and Health Services.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Is there any questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item 2B is an agreement with the Department of Ecology for Toxics Cleanup Remedial Action Grant. And the expenditures are already in, not $1,919.70 are already in the they were in the 2015 budget, not spent, and we have a change form to add them to the 2016 budget.
I move to approve the agreement with the Department of Ecology for Toxics Cleanup Remedial Action Grant.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any questions, comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Bids and awards.
Thank you. Item 3A is a bid opening for Olympic Discovery Trail Forest Service Road 2918 to State Route 101 Trail Crossings Project.
bid I have is from Jordan Excavating of Port Angeles with a total bid of $757,232.85, and there's a bid bond attached.
Sorry, could you repeat that number, please?
Yep, $757,232.85.
Okay, and I have two bids. The first bid is from Brook and Brook, and it looks like the total for their bid is $933,520.14. The second bid is from Interwest Construction, Inc. of Burlington, Washington. And it looks like their total bid is $1,324,607.50.
And I have a bid from Sea Level, all one word, Bulkhead, all one word, Builders Incorporated. Their total bid is $995,050.20, and they also have their bond.
Is there a motion?
I was just going to say, I move that we forward the bids to the roads department for their review and and recommendation.
Second.
Moved and seconded to refer these bids to the road engineering department for their review and recommendation back to the board. Thank you. And Mary's here to collect them.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there a public engineer's estimate for the project?
I think so.
913,000.
Thank you.
So item 3B, bid opening for janitorial services for the Clallam County Health Department.
So there's two bids.
I have a bid from the company Mrs. Lee in the amount of $36,000.
And I have a bid from Partners in Grime. And I see three bid amounts. I'm not sure exactly what to make of them. There's a lump sum bid amount of $34,000, and then there's two additional figures, $34,300, $34,600.
Okay.
I'd like to move that we forward these bids on to the Department of Parks, Fair, and Facilities for their review and recommendation.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any further questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Carries. Thank you very much.
Good luck.
Administration.
Item 4A is approval of minutes for the week of June 28th.
I move to approve minutes from the week of June 28th.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any further questions, comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item 4B is approval of settlement payment for the week of July 12th.
I'd like to move to approve the settlement payment.
Second.
Moved and seconded, any questions, comments? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, no. Motion carries 2-1. Budget.
Item 5A is approval of budget modifications for the week of June 27th.
I move to approve the budget modifications for the week of June 27th.
Second.
Moved and seconded, any further questions, concerns? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Item 5B is a notice that the following supplemental appropriations will be adopted by resolution on July 26th. Under Health and Human Services, Environmental Health, grant funding from the state for 2015 site hazard assessment activities, $1,920. Grant funding from the Department of Ecology for CPG solid waste enforcement in the amount of $7,300. Under Public Works, equipment rental and revolving rebate for lighting upgrade at the Lake Creek Road Shop in the amount of $3,991. Under Developmental Disabilities, adding the second fiscal year's revenues from the Department of Social and Health Services in the amount of $102,603. Those are the supplemental appropriations for 5B.
Move to approve the supplemental appropriations.
A second.
Moved and seconded. There's also the $451,600.
That was removed in the,
Oh, that's right.
in the update.
So moved and seconded. Is there a reason why it was removed?
Do you know why, Tim? I don't either.
Okay.
They just asked.
Well, the 102 is just the difference.
Right.
That's probably it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. 5C.
5C is resolution calling for a hearing to be held at 10:30 a.m. July 26 for consideration of the following debatable emergencies. Under Health and Human Services, Chemical Dependency, Mental Health, increased staff hours to support transition of local treatment providers to the Salish Behavioral Health Organization in the amount of $15,295. And under Public Works, equipment rental and revolving, hire a new mechanic to fill the vacated position in the amount of $19,785.
Move to approve the hearing.
A second.
Moved and seconded. Call for the hearing, July 26th at 10:30 a.m. Any questions, comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. 5C. It is completed. Community development, no items, no public works. We have a public hearing at 10:30, so in the meantime, is there any member of the public wishing to make general comment to the board? So we don't want to rush. Calendar? Any calendar items for the board to consider? I think so. So no objection, we'll recess for 15 minutes. We should have another public hearing.
Start taking the county money, that's another story.
Okay, back in session for 3 public hearings. The first is a proposed resolution authorizing the sale of surplus property. Sheriff, do you have anything you want to say on this before we open the public hearing?
Negative, just a routine.
So if there's no objection, we'll open the public hearing. No one has signed up. Is there any member of the public wishing to make comment on the proposed resolution authorizing the sale of surplus property? Seeing no one.
Recommend that we close the public hearing.
Second.
It's moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Is there a motion to approve the resolution?
Move to approve the resolution.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor? Any questions, comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Apparently the sheriff was confident he was going to get an affirmative vote because he left. Hearing number 2, proposed resolution amending the 6-year transportation improvement program. Is there anything you want to, is there staff report you want to mention, Ross?
The only comments that I've got leading up to this as we work sessioned and advertised it was some general public questions on is this the 6-year TIP process? And the answer is yes and no. So for the record, The board will approve the annual transportation improvement program later on this year, the one that's very comprehensive, that we have the public meetings to vet and that kind of input. During any other time of the year, if we make modifications that have to switch money around within the transportation improvement project, we need to come before the board because you approved the original one to make these modifications. In this case, it's to make two modifications. One is we're splitting the Spruce River Trail into 3 project segments where it was originally listed as one, and this is just because it better fits our funding sources and the fact that we can't do the bigger project in one step anyway. So that is a modification that needs to come to the board and to the public process, really is what it is. And then as we dial in closer on this McDonald Creek Bridge replacement project, the state had some adjustments in the description that arrives at the state level, because this is partly state federal funded. They wanted to change in the description, and we modified at the same time the project limits by 100 feet on both ends of the existing bridge. So these are all modifications that affect this document. If it affects this document, then the board needs to weigh in on it, and this opens it up to the public process. Beyond that, we can answer questions if you want to, but that's kind of handles what I've heard from the public thus far.
Any questions for us? If there's no objection, we'll open the public hearing on a proposed resolution amending the 6-year transportation improvement program. Again, nobody's signed up. Is there any member of the public wishing to make comment? Seeing no one.
I'd like to move to approve the proposed resolution amending the 6-year transportation improvement program.
I'd like to second with a friendly amendment that we close the public hearing.
Thank you.
So motion and a second to close the public hearing and adopt the resolution amending the 6-year transportation improvement program. Any comments, questions?
I'd just like to comment again how tremendously exciting this is, and congratulate you, Rich and Ross, for your creative and challenging work looking for grant funding to supplement these projects. Really excellent job. Thank you.
Same here. Good work, sir.
We will. Further those remarks. Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. And the third public hearing, proposed resolution allocating regional surface transportation program funding to transportation agency projects for the funding years 2016 to 2018. Is that you, Rich?
If I could point out just a couple of changes we had to make. Every year we get tasked with allocating between $900,000 and $1 million of federal surface transportation program projects. This funding can only go to minor collector roads or higher, or regional trail type projects or bridges. And so we contact all the local agencies that are involved in transportation and get project requests from them. I just wanted to make you aware that what we initially advertised, I had to change some of the numbers and dates on that, and I think you've been given that updated version, but what happened was that the agencies gave me a number that included their local match, so I had to take the local match out and roll the numbers back in a couple of cases. So that would have been for the city of Sequim. Originally it was advertised at $200,000, and it'll bring it down to $173,000. For the city of Forks, we were showing the PE occurring in 2018, and it's actually occurring this year. And then the city of Port Angeles Marine Drive Channel Bridge was advertised at $650, and it's actually $510. So those are the only changes, and I believe you've got those updated numbers.
Any questions, Rich?
Actually, are you talking about the Bogashio Way Ridge, City of Forks, that said 218? It didn't get changed to 216 on the resolution. make that change if that's true.
Okay, well, fine.
No, it's the date.
Oh,
He
right.
said the PE was 2018 and he needed to change it to 2016. And that one got missed in the amendment.
Does the commissioner show
Ours says
2016?
2016.
Oh, okay, well, the one I got says 2018.
So there's two of them,
The one I got says 2018 as well.
30,000.
It's the bottom.
Well, there's one in the middle that says PE 2016.
It does, but it always said 2016 on my sheet. So was that the one?
Yeah, I think just in the advertisement.
Oh, okay, so the bottom one still stays 2018 then?
Yes.
Okay, my mistake.
If I could make a comment for the record, just so that the public understands a little bit more of the public problem. First of all, the regional transportation money that comes in, you can see all the different agencies that are eligible. Cities and transit are pretty much it. PDs, even though they seem to be governmental agencies, they're not transportation agencies. So it's not just government, it's ones with transportation. So there's quite a list of them. The county is kind of the lead agency on this. The state expects the county to coordinate the dispersion of this money. That's where part of Rich's job as transportation manager is to work with these agencies to get the money dispersed as they need it. The third item is this has a burden attached to it in that if for some reason by any, you know how changes happen, if one of these agencies cannot maybe make it, they're intending to do a project this year or intending to do it next year and it doesn't happen, we have to figure out what to do with the money. It stays within the organization or it gets used in the organization or the state takes it back. And so we've scrambled a lot of times as a county, and normally we have enough shovel-ready things to do or projects that are suitable for this money that we can take that money and say, okay, well, if you can't use it, we're not going to give it back to the state. We'll go stick it in this project, and then next year, whenever you're ready, you'll get the next allocation of money. So Rich does, I commend him for doing a lot of juggling, because sometimes it's at the last minute, use it or lose it, comes up that we got to go, we got to stick it into a project someplace. We've always been able to do that, so I really appreciate him keeping an eye on it, but that's kind of how this money is handled.
And that actually happened this year, you know, where we had, other agencies had planned to construct projects this year, and because of one reason or another, they didn't get the right of way or they didn't get utilities moved, they weren't able to do it this year. And that allowed us to program $700,000 into the Spruce Railroad Trail projects, which are underway. So having shovel-ready projects, like Ross said, is very important and allows us to use our required allocation, which we have to spend that money every year under the new state federal requirements. So they just want to make sure that if local agencies are getting money, they're spending money. So it makes it kind of complicated because we have to have projects that are ready, and they have to be certain size projects, and sometimes we have to tell an agency, you need to wait till next year to do your project because this year's allocation has been spent. So anyway,
Any other questions? Board's wishes?
Move to close the public hearing.
Seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Move to approve resolution?
Second.
Seconded to adopt the resolution. Any further comments, questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you very much. This is the free public hearing. So once again, is there any member of the public wishing to make comment for the board? Kent?
So I was very pleased to see the bid for the well below engineer estimate for the Olympic Stadium addition. The other issue, I was pleased to see this energy project for lighting. Significant savings, it looks like that it get away from old style lighting and energy savings.
Yes, absolutely. The project wasn't predicated on the rebate that was offered by PED. It was a cascading failure of old 30-year-old components that drove us having to do it. I thank PED for keeping these incentive projects on the table. I think the incentives to encourage power users to change over to the newer technology is much better than taxing them to make it hurt so much that they can change over to newer technology. So this was a really good way to go. And yeah, we're running all LED now.
Yeah, we've done the same thing for the most part at our house. We're LED lighting, and it's the wave of the future. And maybe some solar from the county is appropriate installations to the freight cost. Thank you.
Thanks, Ken. Anybody else wish to make a comment? Want to review the calendar, so there's an executive session tomorrow at 11 a.m. Nothing else on the calendar that I see. So we'll end this week's meeting, tomorrow's meeting at 11, and then Monday morning work session at 9 a.m. We'll do the calendar for the week. If there's any objection, if there's no objection.